how to overcome the 5 hindrances in meditation. Perhaps this is not a very new topic. You may have heard about these 5 hindrances in many Dhamma talks, in many books, but we are looking at it in different forms. And how are they given in the early Buddhist teachings, and what kind of perspective should we have about these 5? What is the Pali word for hindrances? Nivarana. Nivarana, N long I V A R A N. There is another Pali word for this. Nivarana and Avarana. Nivarana and Avarana. Now, ni means to stop. That means being able to see the realities being blocked by these 5. Avarana means because of these 5, that reality is pervasively blocked. So all these prefixes in Pali language say something about what these 5 are. So basically we understand these 5 are primarily blockings of reality, the truth, being able to access into the reality. Not even the meditation, so we don't have to go to meditation to see them. Meditation is a fine place to look at it. But in our daily life, these 5 are happening, in whatever the way. But in a meditation, like breath meditation or some other meditations, there are certain standardized ways to overcome these 5. So I think what is more important is that while we are talking meditation and how meditation can help to overcome these 5, and how these 5 are troubling people who are in the meditation. So these 2 go in tandem. And more importantly, how are they troubling us in our daily life? So making moral, wholesome decisions. There are 5 things, marks, that lead to the decline of wisdom. Anguttara Nikaya is 5.5. This is interesting. In Pali we call Panyaya Dubbalika. I mean, when these 5 are in place, they are weakening our wisdom. Are we all trying to be wise in our life? What is wisdom? Buddhism has a different perspective about wisdom. And wisdom is a very what you call common word in many cultures. What is wisdom? May I ask you? Especially from the Buddhist perspective. I think you are using this as a loose word everywhere. Be wise, talk to people with wisdom, practice meditation with some wisdom. Buddha teaches us to be wise. So what is wisdom to you? Any thoughts?
See things as they really are.
Seeing things as they are is one way to look at it. But it mostly comes down to vipassana, insight, what you call discernment aspect. Now the idea about vipassana is not seen in the early suttas that much. We see vipassana actually as a meditation very late in the 17th, 18th century, where we see the vipassana movement by Burmese monks, Sayadus, and all those monks, as a response to Western enlightenment. Western colonizers have been colonizing Myanmar, Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka has been having this vipassana idea till 12th century, but they lost it. They lost that, so they moved on to the books. They were, when you look at Sri Lankan monks, they are very erudite in the books and texts. And what happened? They lost it in some way. They were more into the Dhamma learning. And when we look at the Burmese tradition, they picked up the word by 18th century, by the Sayadus. The main purpose was to respond to the Western enlightenment. In that time, if you look at a book that was written by, which were written by monks and lay people, all the books are not about karma, rebirth, nibbana. They were about scientific perspectives. Buddhism meant science, and Buddhism meant Charles Darwin. Buddhism meant relativity. Buddhism meant reincarnation, which is not a Buddhist idea, but Tibet Buddhism talks about reincarnation, but early Buddhism does not talk about reincarnation. You can't reincarnate unless lamas are going to be reincarnated. Tibet Vajrayana Buddhism. So we understand that the Pali word vipassana was picked up again through Visuddhimagga by Burmese tradition. So then we have to get to the bottom of wisdom in the early suttas. So one sutta is Samhiti Sutta. Digha Nikaya's 33 sutta. Digha Nikaya 33. Digha Nikaya has 34 suttas, if I'm not mistaken. Samhiti Sutta. Samhiti Sutta was given by Arahant Sariputta in the event that Mahavira, the leader of the Jainism, passed away all of a sudden, and all the Jain monks were quarreling each other, that they know Jainism better than other Jain monks. So at that time, Arahant Sariputta saw that as the second disciple of the Buddha, if we do not do anything for the preservation of Dhamma, this would be the same thing that Sangha members, there were many unenlightened Sangha members who are only scholarly, who are only learned ones. So then he thought, I am going to create a Sanghayana type sutta, what they call council type sutta. This was way before first council. And you see Samhiti Sutta and Dasuttara Sutta in the Digha Nikaya, they are Q&A suttas. That means what is one, what are two sets, what are three sets, what are four sets, like Abhidhamma, what are six sets. So in that, under the three sets, we find out what is wisdom. If you want to look for that, you can go to Samhiti Sutta and we find out what is wisdom. And Arahant Sariputta mentions under the Buddha's advice, wisdom is threefold. Sutta panya, Chintamaya panya, Bhavanamaya panya. Sutta panya means wisdom acquired by learning. Does learning help us to become wise? This is a learning, right? And I think you are learning through Dhamma books, reading and all that, right? But that wisdom is the primary level of the wisdom. The second wisdom must occur. That is called Chintamaya panya. Chintamaya panya means wisdom acquired through rationalizing what you learn. So we have to rationalize what we learn. Now say for instance, we understand Paticca cause and effect. Right? Depend origination. Everything has a cause and an effect. Then is this the only way Paticca causality works? No, there are other things that are working between cause and effect. What is that? Pachaya, conditions. Every cause is not becoming the effect in the same way. Now say for instance there are 3 children for a couple. They are getting the same training from the mother and father, the same love, same education. But you see after some time they are going to different areas in their life. I mean work-wise, moral-wise, why is it? They have been conditioned differently. So mother-father's influence is something else. So that means only when we rationalize what we learn, we can understand these conditions. So we understand it is not hetu, cause and other effect, but pachaya, differently conditioned into other. Very, very interesting. So there are lots of such Dhamma teachings across the canon. So knowledge is not enough. Knowledge alone is not enough. So we need to rationalize the knowledge. Now say for instance in today's world, all the Buddhist centers, Buddhist organizations are trying to reach out to crowd, Buddhist crowd, non-Buddhist crowd. And some organizations are thinking a little differently. Some are going to look beyond what they offer. Say for instance, an organization like Dhamma, One Earth Sangha organization in the US. It's been some time today. They are talking about eco-Buddhism, environmental Buddhism. What are the Buddhist teachings that we can find out about environmental sustainability? It's a very big topic, climate change, gas emissions, and with the new, big companies, big pharma culture, how is the environment being impacted for the next 20, 30 years? So what are the Buddhist teachings? There are lots of Buddhist teachings in the Buddhist canon. Now I would tell you a very simple one. That is coming in the Dhamma. Vanam chindata marukha, vanato jayati. The Buddha says, Vanam chindata, cut the forest of defilements, but not the real forest. Very interesting. Vanam chindata marukha, don't touch the trees. But now we are losing lots of trees in the world. There are some other reasonable forces who cutting those trees, but we are losing. So Buddha has had a clear idea: try to save the trees in a certain reasonable way. Not that there are devas in the trees only. Right? So there are other things. So there are many such teachings about environment, how to protect the flora and fauna in this universe. That is a Buddhist side. So Vanda and Sangha got together. I think they came up with 16 ideas. That is a rationalization of the knowledge, not the normal knowledge that people are talking. The Dhamma is only one way. You have to become an enlightened person. Between that enlightenment, you become a better person. We have to think different in the modern world. What are the intersections between science and Buddhism in today's world? Let's take a concept like transhumanism. What is transhumanism? It's a very big topic in the science for many years already, 15, 20 years. Transhumanism means scientific and technological developments to bypass the biological limitations, such as aging, getting sick, genetic engineering, even with death. Now, there are big projects going on, namely cryonics. They are freezing 300 to 400 dead bodies in certain countries, US and other countries, thinking whether they can keep the consciousness, like how some people are going through MRI scan. If they see everything in the brain, not looking at it as a consciousness, but certain technical aspects of the brain, why not send in the consciousness when we die to a cloud? I mean, there are people who are hypothesizing whether this is possible or not. So, why not to look at these aspects? This is one idea, cryonics. And anti-aging concept. This is a very pretty interesting concept. You go and buy a conditioner. People like to buy anti-aging conditioner, shampoo, soap, right? It's a big topic, rejuvenation, anti-aging. So, did the Buddha say we can do age reverse? Let me ask you. Now, the often thing that we hear from a lot of Dhamma things is that we are aging, so everything is anicca. So, is it the only teaching that Buddha talks about? Has Buddha ever talked about certain ideas about anti-aging? Now, the science and all these people are talking about it. Whether you accept it or not, that is the normal perception outside, in many places. Yes, he did talk about it. He talks about it in a sutta in Samyutta Nikaya, where he says about eating habits, mindful eating. He says, when you eat less, you eat graciously, slowly. Sanikan ayu jiri. Sanikan means slowly, or graciously. Ayu means age. So, do we want to die early? What is the opportunity of dying early? Like a teenager who goes to take life. What are the problems with that? So, Buddhism asks us to live longer. Why? Not just to be luxurious about life. Do more good karma. To learn more. To do more good karma. And we learn it from Mahayana Buddhism too. Bodhisattva. What is the Bodhisattva's idea? Do Bodhisattvas like dying early? I don't think so. Bodhisattvas' idea is they want to help the last person to become enlightened. Then only they want to become enlightened. What a good idea. So, then the Bodhisattva idea is also about living longer. If people live longer, they can do more good karma. That is an idea. Of course, there are certain things we cannot avoid, but anti-aging. And what about genetic engineering? Is this a new thing? No, it has been there for some time. And we know that there are some children who are born with some genetic problems, and the doctors know that this child is going to be deformed. But what if scientists can change those, modify those genes into healthy genes? And that means in another 80 to 100 years, there may be no deformed children. But if you bring the argument that they are reborn as genetically deformed, but through the science, through the blessings of being born in that time, not now, in that time, they might be able to get to know. You can even take a cosmetic surgery. Somebody who's going to Korea and doing a what kind of plastic surgery, and then coming back and say, hey, look, I look beautiful. I mean, how to look this kind of a thing through karma? You're born as an ugly person, you think. But if you go to that kind of family and do a full surgery, come back. So that means we have to accept that when we rationalize our learning, we have to go beyond karma, accepting karma, and also, creating space for people to be happy in their life. Buddhism is asking us to be happy, and final happiness is Nibbana. But before that, we have to be happy in a healthy way, in a holistic, positive way. So this is what we call trying to find out these teachings. And sicknesses, 60, 70 years back, how did our ancestors go through heart attacks? When they had a cardiovascular problem, how did the others define the problem? Oh, one devil came and attacked this man. He passed away. Devil attack. Demon attacked him. There was nothing that they were trying to rip off the rib cage and then doing an open heart surgery. But now, doctors are even not going to do that in the first place. They are going for angioplasty. Bypass is such a very worst case scenario. Right? That means most people at that time died due to those things. So the people who are born now are much more blessed than those people in maybe 67 years ago. And what about the people who are going to be born 78 years from now? They may be differently blessed. They may have problems, their own problems. So then we have to understand our wisdom that we learn through these Pali, suttas and all that have to be rationalized in the proper way, Kusala holistic way. That is called Chandima. Third one is Bhavana, wisdom acquired through cultivation. How to cultivate? We cannot cultivate without learning and rationalizing. So these are the three types of Panya, wisdom. What are they? The first wisdom is wisdom acquired through learning. Second, wisdom acquired through rationalizing. Wisdom acquired through third one, cultivation. Now, bhavana, meditation. Not even the meditation that you do sitting down. There are many meditations. Sitting is a meditation. Why is it a meditation? How is it a meditation? Because you were in a different posture before sitting down, right? You were standing, right? Unless you are a crippled person, you were standing before, then you sat down. Now I am sitting down now with metta, meditation. Two meditations happen. Sitting down meditation with metta. Now, by 10 o'clock, you are standing with metta. Standing with metta. That means, on one side, posture meditation works, standing meditation. On the other side, metta works. So, every posture is a meditation. Shifting any posture is a double meditation. One meditation with the other meditation. All postures, movements of postures are meditation. So, that means meditation is not just on the cushion practice. It is for the most part, it's off of the cushion practice. So, try to cultivate all those aspects of meditation. I think we spend like more than 10 minutes on this. Because wisdom is very important. So, having said that, we have to go to our topic now. Okay, these are the 5 things. Of course, you understand them. Kama and Chandima. Sensual desire. This is something normal to us. And ill will is not normal to us. It's a little bit, I would say, an obsession about the reality. And Tina with the physical absence of vitality and focus, mental lack of energy. These two are happening to us time to time. And Uttacha Kukkucha, restlessness of the mind, and regret or remorse, which leads our doubts. So these five are happening time to time to us unless we have created enormous amount of right effort. Samavaya. Samavaya is the key. And there are certain meditations to counter this point. That is the purpose of this doctrine. So we will look at them too. The nature of these five hindrances, born of ignorance, fed by habits, thriving in silence. So they are working in silence. They have been habitual. Sometimes these have been very difficult to be recognized because they have been that much habitual. So that is why they are working as such. These five guard the gates to inner liberation. That means the opposite of these five. They are what we call gateways to the liberation. Right? Meditation is not just relaxation. It is transformation. Do you understand that point? Who said it is just a relaxation? That is a movement that happened in 70s. Now, meditation was taken as mindful meditation. There was a movement started by a scholar called John Kabat-Zinn, and he started this movement, mindful meditation for stress reduction. That's a good thing. It has to work that way. But it is not. Buddhist meditation, sati, is not for relaxation. Because when you are over-relaxed, you will be in a different stage at that point. So it is transformation. When I understand my postures, changes of my posture, when I understand my own anger, antidote to anger, so I transform myself every day. The other thing is that the hindrances don't visit politely. They storm in all the time. As long as we don't understand what's going on in our life. Now say for instance, I hope that you've been practicing Dhamma sometime now. 20 years back, 10 years back, let's say someone was angry to you. So when someone was angry just for a certain moment, you become 2 times angry to that person. And when the person was 3 times angry, you become 4 times angry. Right? I can do something for you. But now when you learn Dhamma, more Dhamma, you understand, it might not be the proper way to respond to that person. Now you understand. Perhaps you want to postpone your emotions. I don't have to reply to you. You are going to postpone the reply to the WhatsApp message. You are going to postpone the email to the email, maybe another day. Why you do that? Sometimes postponing emotions might help us to balance them. But then the person who sent the bad message becomes more angry, right? How come? I sent you the message yesterday, but you are not even looking at the message. So that's a different way to look at it. So we have to understand hindrances slowly, silently visiting us in a nice way, sometimes in a very affectionate way, in a righteous way sometimes. They are working incognito. This is one way to look at it. This is a very Western idea, but I think this has roots to Buddhist thoughts. Rain, R-A-I-A. So, rain idea is a good idea to bring into our practice. That means R stands for recognizing our emotions, A stands for accepting our emotions, I stands for investigating our emotions, N stands for deconstructing us from a particular event. Let's take one example. What would be a good example? Jealousy. Let's say when the jealousy is hitting us, are we always understanding our jealousy? So we have to understand, recognize that I am on the way to become jealous. I am not yet become jealous. I know I am on the way to become jealous. How can we become jealous? When we look at certain things, other people's happiness, right? We might be jealous if we don't have the right mindset to look at them. If we don't have the mudita to look at their success. We have to always say that your achievement, my happiness. That would be a good way to look at it. Not that your achievement, my suffering. That would be a bad thing to look at. Right? So let's say you recognize, I think I'm the way to become. That is a Dhamma understanding. You understand on the spot there's something going wrong in my mind. And then you accept. You accept that it's me, I am on the way to become this. And then you can investigate physically. Are there physical indications of jealousy? If you are badly affected by jealousy, could you spot certain bodily changes? Have you ever felt that you were stuttering to talk? You were losing your voice, some heavy breaths, certain different changes, you become moody to talk to other people, you want to withdraw from other people. Does it happen? It can happen to some. So you watch what is happening as an investigation, physically, emotionally, energetically, cognitively, motivationally. You look at why today I am so down, I don't have motivation, why I don't have vibes. That means this jealousy has taken me over. And when other people are trying to help us, you don't want to talk to them. Let me be myself today. Right? Because you don't investigate. You want to stick to what's happening as a result of that. And finally, what is helping you to deconstruct is non-identification, anatta concept. Now, it has come to you. You are looking at that's not me. Plus, that success of the person does not affect me. I have my own unique way. So let me accept the success of other people. The moment I accept, I feel so happy. That is called non-identification. But what many people do is, if you become successful, I also should have been successful like you. I don't have to be successful like you. Right? So, this is a good way to look at for any emotion. Even a good emotion or a bad emotion. Kusala or apsara. So, if you look at 5 hindrances, when the Kama Chanda is hitting you so bad, you can use brain methodology to see whether what is happening good or bad. Sensual desire, Kama Chanda, we understand, cravings through 5 senses. Modern forms, obsession with screens. Are we obsessed by the screens? With the screens today still? Can we let go watching certain videos during the day? Or we think that no, we must watch. I must watch those videos before I sleep. And I turn on the light and I'm going to watch all those videos in that darkness. On one side, that is affecting my eyes. On the other hand, I'm being very obsessed by these videos. And when I keep watching videos, those platforms would like me to be there. On the side, they are saying autoplay. You cannot go back. You must finish watching. Like, you go to that certain streaming platform by 1 o'clock, and now 6 o'clock you are not still happy. You think you have to watch a lot. So, I think many people have been obsessed with this digital streaming platform. They are not bad, they are good. But what if we create an ability to go to the streaming softwares and I watch 3-4 videos and I come back? That is Buddhism. Right? So, Kama Chanda in modern format can be seen with obsession, with screen. Social media, definitely it's a normal thing. Online shopping and food cravings. Right? Yes, we may look at it in a nice way, online shopping. But what if the people who are supposed to deliver our products are not delivering in time? Are we getting mad or not? Many people. And you book it through expedite delivery, but they are not delivering. Because now everything has been coming to a certain junction called instant gratification. 20-30 years back, people have to go to the market, buy foods and come back and cook it and all that. But now everything is coming in a couple of minutes. So when we got used to that kind of experience, when things don't happen the way we expect, then our Kama Chanda is going to take us over. So we have to be very careful. It's a good thing, but be very careful. Even the food cravings. What are the remedies for this thing? What kind of meditation can be working? Let me tell you, Vedananupasana. Third one, replace that Kama Chanda thought with Vedananupasana. Why Vedananupasana? When you listen to the Dhamma talks and books, you can see that they are highly emphasizing what's your thoughts. What did the Buddha say about this language? In Satipatthana Sutta. When you read Satipatthana Sutta, you will understand Buddha brings Chitta Sankhara, mental formations, not into the Chitta Sankhara, Chitta Anupasana. Mental formations are not given under the Chitta Anupasana. Chitta Anupasana means mindfulness based on thoughts. There are 16 thoughts. Buddha has given Chitta Sankhara under Vedana Anupasana. Now, if you look at Girimananda Sutta, Anapanasati Sutta, Buddha says, under the second bracket, what you call Passam Vayam Chitta Sankhara Astasissami Passasissami. I am now going to calm down my Chitta Sankharas under the feeling. Why is it? Let me tell you the reason. The reason is that if you really want to tackle your akusalas, the rising of your akusalas, you can manage them at the feeling level better than at the thought level. Because thoughts are very messed up, messy structures, very abstract. You can't sometimes understand the thoughts. That's why when people are saying, yeah, from morning to evening I am looking at my thoughts. It's been a struggle for me. Why? When the akusalas are coming to you, you can see the emotive stage, feeling level. Do you go through certain feelings when the anger is coming to you? Yes. Certain feeling about that. Then it will become a thought. That's why you can use Vedana Vipassana to tackle down, to combat, to work with your Kama Chandra. Another thing is, you can use Dhamma Vipassana, the fourth Satipatthana. Why is it? Actually, Dhamma Vipassana has one bracket called 5 hindrances. That means, how do we? Is Kama Chandu any other hindrance is still with me now? Or was it with me in the past? Will I have the Kama Chandu in the future? Every person has to make sure. Do I have ill will or not now? Will I have the ill will in the future? Did I have the ill will in the past? So that cross-checking purpose has been given under the Dhamma Vipassana. So you can practice these two. But don't directly go to Asubha. Asubha was given to a certain individual. What are the Asubhas? Body parts. 31 body parts in the body. This was only given to a certain monk by the Buddha. I remember when I conducted a retreat in Kelantan a few years back. In that retreat, I normally have interviews, and one person told me, I have been developing a certain narcissistic, maybe kind of a thought that I don't like to be a part of my family anymore. I discuss them. I don't like them anymore. I don't want to be with them in the reunion dinner. I don't want to go to their houses. Then I asked, since when has this happening to you? The person started telling, and there was someone who changed meditation. I said, what meditation have you been doing now? He said, Asubha. I'm doing Asubha. Then I asked, what meditation have you done before Asubha? Anapanasati. I said, go back to Anapanasati. Because with Asubha, what is happening to you is that you are disgusting your own body and you are disgusting other people's body. It is not the proper meditation for you. It might be good for somebody. It has to be given by a good teacher to someone having understood the problem. Actually, Asubha meditation was given to someone who has so much hypersexualistic ideas, who is hypersexualizing everything in the experience. It's like a doctor is giving a certain antibiotic to a patient. That antibiotic is only for a month or two, you can't take it anymore because that antibiotic will kill your good bacteria. Right? So Asubha is that kind of antibiotic. It should have been given for a specific person, for a specific. So I would say this, what is this body, skin, sinew, bone, just elements in there? This part is the worst case remedy for somebody. So Vedana Vipassana, Dhamma Vipassana. Then, if nothing going to work, it has to be given by an experienced teacher. Then we go to ill will. Vyapada. Vyapada means it has different range levels. That means very subtle anger into a very what you call very full-fledged kind of hostility. What are the modern forms of ill will? Online arguments, cancel culture, workplace irritations, family irritations, day-to-day irritations. So how do you work with these things? And they can come as righteousness, perfectionism. Ill will can arise from perfectionism. What we call this productivity obsession. They think that I have a set target, I have to be like this, I have to hit that target. If somebody is not letting me do that, I am so angry. I have been bad. Right? So, how to look at these things from a Buddhist perspective? So, we understand sometimes hatred hides as righteousness. This is the right reality. Anger pretends to be our power. Right? But every moment of ill will hurts us more than. What is ill will? Vyapada. Thoughts of killing, destroying other people. Right? People destroy other people not just physically, mentally, emotionally, bullying other people, rushing other people. Have you ever rushed other people? Hey, I think I'm late, come back. I had to go down. That kind of bullying in a way. Tell them, I'm going to go at this time, you have to get ready by this. Not that suddenly rushing that person. Rushing people, pushing people. Those are indirect, harassing things. Right? When you don't have clarity. And even character assassinations, they all are evil. So what to do? Metta, loving kindness. How to practice metta? We understand that metta has to go from me to all living beings. It's not just for a meditation we sit down and do. It has to become our heart practice, our inner work all the time. Metta to enemies, I would say, difficult people, it's an emotional alchemy. And also, understanding karma and effect. Karma and vipaka. When I know if I become angry, if I die with anger, I will be somebody who is not human. And then, sloth and flow. We understand sloth seems to be what we call mental and physical part. Sloth is mental and torpor is mostly physical part. So, this is about balancing our energy. Is managing energy very important as a Buddhist? It's very important. You can't even practice Dhamma without balancing out your energy. Why is it? Sometimes you know a lot of Dhamma, you know that sutta, this practice, that practice. But you are not practicing it. Why it is? You are lazy. Or perhaps you are over-energetic. Right? You are creating unrealistic plans. Tomorrow you want to be a Sotapanna. But it might not be a realistic idea. It might be, it might not. But you take one thing at a time. Small projects will lead to the big project. That kind of an idea will help you. Compartmentalizing, sectionalizing the Dhamma practice will make you better. Not that you think that April will be Sammaditya practice, May will be my Samma Sankappa practice, right? And you plan that way. So, you are thinking in a very holistic way. What could be a good meditation for sloth and torpor? It is walking meditation and other posture meditations and breath meditation. Why? When we practice breath meditation, we can energize us. We can find out the problem. Remember Bhante Sona's problem? Sona was a musician before and he became a monk. And he was a perfectionist. You know, music people, they are very perfectionist. They want to become very precise, precisions. It works in music. It won't work in Dhamma. You can't be a perfectionist. Right? You can't go by the knowledge. Knowledge is important. But more than the knowledge, at a certain point of the Dhamma, you need that Chitta Mepanya and Bhavana Mepanya together with the living. That's where many people lose their practice. They know that they are not going anywhere. I mean, they are just vacillating, oscillating between two aspects. So, Bhante Sona practiced meditation so hard, right? You know, sleeping and all that. One day he thought, I'm not going to attain anything, I better disrobe And then the Buddha approached him, and the Buddha said that you don't have to destroy, and asked him some kind of an analogy with regard to his day life. The analogy was, before you were a musician, how did you play the piano, what you call veena? Did you play it well when you were, playing the veena, having strings very tight? He said no. And having the strings very slack, very loose, he said no. But when someone is playing with having the strings not too tight, not too loose, then you will have that sonic sound. In the same way, never push your Dhamma practice too hard. Don't go too hard. Don't push. That is an aim. Atta Kilamatana Yoga. Self-qualification. Some people give a lot of pain to the body. And some people give a lot of indulgence to the body. That is another problem. So don't fall into these aspects. Try to practice a natural Dhamma practice. You don't have to be something. Just something that is good for you. You customize your own Dhamma practice in a nice, proper way. So, breath meditation is helping for overcoming slow tempo and then the posture meditations. And Uddhacca Kukucca, restlessness of the mind and the body, what to do with that? What are the problems with regard to this thing in today's world? FOMO. What is FOMO? Fear of missing out. Fear of being left out. So is this a problem when you watch 20 your friends' status on social media? They are going somewhere, they are celebrating, and you are thinking, what happened to me? I am not going anywhere. I don't have that many friends. Am I left out in this scenario? You are not left out. You are not missed out. So that is a certain way to look at it. You don't have to think that way. And multitasking, that needs lots of courage. Maybe you are doing your activities, but you are unitasking all the time. Because we cannot ignore this multitasking. Overthinking is a big problem in today's world. And productivity obsession. So these are coming when Uddhacca Kukucca hit us so bad. So we understand we should not let that happen. What we can do for that, again, breath meditation. We take time, we watch our breath, we will be calming us and get our practice. Finally, Vicikicca. What are the Vicikicca here? Doubts, questioning your worth all the time, your purpose and practice. Why we are questioning us all the time? Because we might not have the proper instruction. So we don't have Kalyana Mitta. We need Kalyana Mitta to get these doubts clear. We need a spiritual teacher, good teacher, right? We need some studies, right? Rather than we are trying to connect to Kalyana Mittas and teachers, what if we always try to overthink and ruminate? So we will be victimized by, we will be a victim to Vicikicca. So those are the things. So then we finalize because of the time. I can share it to later. Finally, what we need to understand when we look at five hindrances. These hindrances should not be considered as threats. They are teachers. Every time Kamachanda hits you, hits me, we look at it as a teacher. You are teaching me a lesson. So you can practice those meditations given under the hindrance, but always try to treat them as teachers. And the moment you notice a hindrance, you are already free from its grip. So then, how to be able to watch that moment that hindrance is trying to take us over? Vedana Vipassana. How to go to Vedana Vipassana? Through the breath. Because you can't directly go to Vedana Vipassana without practicing some calmness. So when you practice breath meditation, that is the key to overcoming five hindrances. That is the key. So when you notice your breaths, then you understand when you are having a negative emotions, you watch it. Something going to happen to me now. I am on the way to become angry. I am on the way to become disappointed. Not that I disappoint and then I look at what happened to me. Right? I got angry, I yelled at a couple of people and they worry about my yelling. And then you have made a fuss over that, right? So that's why when you practice breath meditation, you feel the changes in the breath, then you outrightly spot it and you manage it. So all the 5 impulses will be managed in the proper way. So the final thing that I suggest is, may your path be clear, your mind be still, and your heart be